On a lazy Sunday morning, I thought, why not help my audience with their fat loss question? So I posted an Instagram reel asking my audience to drop their burning questions in the comments. In this video, I'll be picking 41 random questions and answering each one in detail. For context, all my followers are ambitious, career-driven women who want to lose around 25 to 30 pounds, about 10 kg. We help them do this through our evidence-based 5-phase protocol, which not only helps them lose fat, but also primes their metabolism to burn twice the amount of calories on autopilot, making it ridiculously easy to maintain their hard-earned results for rest of their life. That said, if you want us to help you do the same, click the first link in the description, fill out a quick 10-second application and book a roadmap call to see if you qualify. Alright, let's jump into the question number 1. I work 10 to 12 hours a day, and what is the minimum effective workout to keep losing fat? So, if you're working 5 days a week, the absolute minimum you can commit is 2 30-minute sessions per week, focusing on compound movements that hit multiple muscle groups all at once. Think deadlift, squats, bench press, and these exercises will give you most bang for your buck. Now, if you don't design systems and routines in your overall lifestyle that makes consistency a no-brainer, your long hours will eventually catch up to you and you will burn out. Unfortunately, there is no one-size-fits-all answer here. You need to audit your lifestyle, identify where the time is being wasted, and either cut it down entirely or streamline it so you can just get it done with less effort. Second question. If I only have 25 minutes, should I lift or do intervals? So, if your goal is effective and efficient fat loss, I would only recommend strength training. To be more specific, lifting something against gravity. For you, intervals might look like you're saving time, but most people confuse high heart rate with an effective workout. If you're training for cardiovascular health, also known as heart health, then sure, intervals might work. But if you want to predictably lose fat and build your metabolism to a point where it is easy for you to keep the weight off for the rest of your life, you need to focus on strength training and improving muscle tissue. 95% of clients focus on 25-minute workouts because they don't have time to waste. If that's your case, the best thing you can do is first 5 minutes warm up. For the next 15 minutes, I want you to choose one upper body compound movements and one lower body compound movements, and do that at least 4 sets with high volume given everything you got. To be more specific, if you're rating those workouts after doing these 2 exercises on a scale of 1 to 10, it should at least be 8 or 9. That is the level of intensity you need to aim for. And the last 5 minutes, do static stretching. This way, you can maximize the time you have and you can be in and out of the gym within 25 minutes. Question number 3. My steps are 6 to 7K on office days. Do I actually need 10K to lose fat? Okay, so 10K is not a magical number that's going to gift you fat loss. It totally depends on how much energy you expend throughout the day. Assuming you know your calories and track your calories, you need to constantly track your steps and always try to challenge it and improve the average. I have clients who sit at the desk all day and in front of the computer but lose fat by just walking 7,000 steps a day. So it's definitely possible for you to lose fat. But it is all about finding the balance between your activity levels and your caloric intake and making sure you can consistently stay in a deficit. Question number 4. I'm already lifting 5 to 6 times a week. Am I overtraining and stalling fat loss? Just because you work out 5 to 6 days a week doesn't mean you're gonna stop. It could be one of these situations. Either you're not recovering properly day by day, meaning your sleep schedule is not optimized, or you think you're in a deficit, but you're actually not, or you might not be creating enough mechanical tension in order for you to grow your muscles. In simple terms, training hard enough in the gym in order to make progress. Or from a physiological aspects, you might be in a deficit for a prolonged period of time and your body got adapted to it, also known as metabolic adaptations. Now, rather than focusing on your feelings, track the numbers, track your weight, track your measurements, and track your calories. That right there will tell you if you're truly stopped. Question number 5. What's the fastest way to recover when I'm sleeping 6 hours? So if you're just sleeping 6 hours, the best thing you can do is to make sure those 6 hours are premium quality sleep in an atmosphere where quality sleep happens as a byproduct. For example, decrease the temperature of your room, do an activity before bed like workouts so your body feels tired and automatically feels sleepy, or even use melatonin supplements. Ideal is 8, but even with 6 hours, one of our clients who's a mom of 2 and working full time lost 15 plus pounds. So it's definitely possible for you. Question number 6. I skip breakfast to save time. Does that slow fat loss? Okay. Contrary to popular belief, breakfast is not the important meal of the day, but it has a huge impact on setting the tone for your choices for rest of the day. Just because you skip breakfast doesn't mean you'll automatically have a slower fat loss, as long as you're expending more calories than your input, also known as if you're staying in a deficit. But at least having a mini protein meal with 5 minutes of prep, or even putting something together last minute like a protein shake or Greek yogurt, will keep you full for longer. And since your body uses more energy to just digest the protein you're consuming in the morning, and considering the lower levels of insulin, your body will at least be efficient in helping you burn those calories. Question number 7. How much protein do I need at each meal to stay full between meetings? Ideal recommendation within my coaching is 1 gram per pound. Or you can eat as much protein as you want as long as you don't have any pre-existing kidney diseases. So the ideal ratio, considering at least you eat 3 meals a day, is aiming for 40 grams per meal and having some lean protein snacks in your office drawer while you're in meetings. The more protein you have, the more satiated you feel, and the more calories your body burns by just digesting the amount of protein you consume. And this increases as you increase muscle tissue. Question number 8. If I eat out 4 times a week with clients, how do I still hit a deficit? Eating out 4 days a week is not a big deal as long as you've been practicing calorie tracking perfectly for a while. 90% of my clients, when they came to me, they said that they know macros and calorie tracking. But in few weeks, it turned out completely the opposite. Most of them before were tracking some random ingredients with some random measures and calling that tracking their calories. You see, you don't get results from a repetition. You get results from accuracy. But as a rule of thumb, if you have a dinner planned beforehand, if you can save calories from the morning knowing that you're going to go out and eat food, even if you mess up the calories, which you will still be okay because you save the calories from the morning. Question number 9. On travel weeks, how do I keep progress with only hotel gyms? While traveling, the goal is to always maintain high activity levels. You can do that by either keeping track of your steps or maybe doing cardio if available at the hotel gym. Just keep the expectation that you won't be making similar progress like you did while you had a lot of equipments and a lot of options in your regular gym. Make the goal to maintain what you've already built, so when you come back, you don't have to start all the way back from zero. Keep up with your steps, use gym cardio equipment, and do a full body workout whenever the weights are available, or even just body weight exercises. For our clients, we plan this out. They send us the itinerary, we tailor their workouts, and even recommend restaurants. Long story short, the more you plan, the better you'll do. And if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. Question number 10. What do I order at a steakhouse to stay on plan without being that person? Okay, so the best protein options you can get in a steakhouse is filet mignon and sirloin steak, depending on how many calories you want to allocate or how many calories you have left for the day. But if you're trying to save up on calories, avoid the mashed potatoes on the side or any heavy carb item. Again, it is not because carbs make you fat. It is just to stay on the safe side considering the calories. Carbs won't make you feel full as fast as you would like. Question number 11. I'm stuck at the same weight for 3 weeks. Do I cut calories or take a diet break? Just because you're stuck at the same weight for 3 weeks, that doesn't actually mean you are not progressing. For our clients, we look at multiple variables, taking progress pictures and comparing them side by side, considering weight fluctuations, energy levels, and biofeedback. So when you accurately track all these aspects, and if you can't see any changes in any of these aspects, then you would likely be in a plateau. In terms of cutting the calories or taking the diet break, it totally depends on your situation. If you're experiencing negative biofeedback and negative energy levels, then go for a diet break. Or if you're not in a deficit long enough and you have calories left and you can handle it, then sure, you can cut the calories. Okay, question number 12. I'm 10 kg from the goal. Should I lose faster now or protect my metabolism? Okay, so there is nothing as protecting your metabolism. Regardless, even if you are just 10 kg away, losing it faster doesn't help you, because even if you lost 10 kgs, in order for you to keep it off, you still will have to build muscle tissue right after that. But before straight jumping into increasing the calories, you need to do a reverse diet to make sure your body can handle the higher levels of food intake which you will be consuming. After the reverse diet, if you really want to protect your metabolism, the only thing you can do is to build muscle tissue. If not, your metabolism will be worse than when you started the fat loss journey. Question number 13. How do I know if my 2000 steps plus hard workout is worse than 10k steps plus a shorter lift? This is one of the most common questions I get among all these ambitious, career-driven professionals. They go super hard in the gym, but they don't realize that whatever they do in the gym is only contributing to the 5% of calories you burn. That said, there is no one answer for it. Both low steps and high intensity and 10k steps with short and effective workouts can work depending on your lifestyle and your genetic factors. But the only way to find that out is to consistently monitor your body weight and actually see if you're progressing. Question number 14. Are my weekend drinks, 2 to 3 glasses of wine, killing my deficit? Yes, alcohol has calories, and that alone can put you out of the deficit and keep you stuck forever. So rather than seeing your calories daily, think about it on a weekly perspective. Suppose you need to consume 2000 calories to maintain your weight, and your calorie deficit, also known as your calorie target, is 1800 calories. Basically, you're saving 200 calories per day to be in a deficit. So Monday through Friday, you stayed in a deficit and saved 1000 calories in total. And on the weekends, if you consume drinks or food to a point where you were consuming 3000 calories, 2000 calories you need to maintain the weight, and an extra 1000 calories on top of that. All the calories you saved during the week just came back with just one day. So as a result, in a weekly perspective, you'll be right back at the calories where you need to maintain the weight. This is exactly what happens when you forget about the weekends, and that is exactly how you get stuck. Question number 15. I'm already no sugar, no carbs. Why am I still not leaning out? Why do you hate your life so much? Your life is already hard right now. Then why make it even harder? Like, think about it. You have a full-time career where you're giving everything you can to become the best. You make time for your friends and family, and you're working out 6 to 7 days a week, thinking that's what's going to get you results. On top of that, you're cutting out sugar and carbs to make it even harder. Just because you cut carbs and sugar doesn't mean you will lose weight. You can still consume more calories with the other healthy foods you're eating. The question I want you to ask yourself is, yes, this may seem like a shortcut, but have you ever thought about how to maintain the results you got by cutting out sugar and carbs when you reintroduce them after you loosen the weight? Your life don't have to be that miserable, and if you don't see yourself doing this for a lifetime, why bother trying it in the first place? Question number 16. Should I carb cycle if my schedule is heavy meetings Monday to Thursday and lighter Friday to Sunday? Most people don't even need carb cycling. Carb cycling is when you go super low on carbs consistently over time to a point where it gives you diminishing returns. That's when you need to replenish the glycogen stores by increasing the carbs. And the key word here is consistently. Listen, if you're an ambitious career-driven woman juggling multiple things at the same time, family, career, and trying to be the best in all aspects, just know that I've trained thousands of you. Most of you, at least 90% who are tracking, think they're tracking accurately, but in reality, it is the complete opposite. That is exactly why I recommend don't bother with carb cycling. Most of you will be unknowingly consuming enough carbs that your body needs to process. Unless you're a bodybuilder working towards a show, or you specifically cut them out. Rather than focusing on carb cycling, if you can keep your carbs steady throughout the week, it will be much easier and will be much peaceful. But if you're a person where you can 100% prove to me with numbers that you were tracking and was having fewer carbs, yes, then we can talk about carb cycling. Question number 17. How do I stop binging after a 14-hour day when willpower is gone? First of all, it is super common for you to have that feeling to binge and go raid your pantry when you had an exhausting day. It is the same for me. But the only thing you can do is to structure your environment in a way where it forces you to stay on track. For example, when you see it, you want it. And I'm not saying you need to totally avoid the snacks, but you need to replace your whole pantry with calorie-friendly options. So whenever you feel hungry or whenever you feel like you want to binge, you have a better alternative rather than having the normal high-calorie snacks. Question number 18. I'm sore all the time. Do I need more rest days or more protein? Regardless if you're working out or not, your body needs a steady amount of protein just to function. So if your goal is losing fat effectively while preserving muscle mass, which I assume, I would keep it simple, 1 gram per pound. So you're given more than enough for your body to repair and recover. That said, do you have more benefit on having high protein on the active workout days? Yes, it does. But is it necessary for career-driven busy women like you? No, it doesn't. Question number 19. Should I train fasted early morning or eat first for better fat loss? Considering you're busy and working most of the time, the best option would be whatever fits your lifestyle and your schedule. Fasted training will be beneficial if you're struggling with PCOS, prediabetes, or diabetes. But if you prefer getting in a good workout in the morning and having higher energy levels, having the breakfast before workout would be ideal. But there are clients who train fasted not because of fat loss benefits, just because it works well with their busy schedule. What they do is they leave home a bit early, packing bags as if they're going to work, but stop by the gym to have a workout, then have breakfast as a takeout just because they prefer family time or personal time in the evening. Question number 20. Is cardio necessary or is a standing desk enough? I work 12 hours. A standing desk can be a game changer if you're someone who's working from home or someone who works in front of a computer. Without it, fat loss can be even harder considering you won't be having no activity for 8 to 12 hours a day. And you would have to rush to get the level of activity you need in the remaining 12 hours where you need to subtract 8 hours sleep. The long story short, if you can get enough activity in the remaining hours that you need to stay in a deficit, that would be more than enough. But if you're a person who have plans even after working or you'll be busy occupied, then getting steps while you're working would be a better option. Like 90% of our clients who work in front of a computer have standing desks. And just from that, trust me, your life will get easier. Question number 21. How do I hit 120 to 140 grams of protein without cooking every single day? This is one of the common questions I get when I'm onboarding some of our busiest clients. We expect that not because they're lazy, mainly because we focus on optimizing their lifestyle and implementing systems to figure out a way where they can get more results with less effort. So having 120 to 140 grams of protein without cooking is 100% possible for you. Even though there are plenty of options, the top two which you can incorporate pretty easily are number 1, Greek yogurt tubs, and if you can add more protein powder on top of that, not only you get more protein, but it will also taste like an ice cream. And the other option is rotisserie chicken, where you can buy it and get creative. With these two, you can do it as many times as you want with absolutely no price. Question number 22. Are protein bars and shakes okay daily or will they bloat me? So, if you're a busy career-driven woman working most of the time, if you don't incorporate protein powder, protein shakes, or protein bars, you're doing a huge disservice to yourself because it just makes your life easier and it is easy for you to hit your protein goals given the situation. But if you rely a little too much on that and avoid the whole foods, also known as real foods, that's where you get the bloating problem. Since our clients follow this strategy, even though they're busy and working hard, and even though some of them have one meal a day for certain reasons, they never struggle with bloating. Question number 23. How do I handle PMS hunger without erasing weekly progress? Even though we have tried numerous methods with our clients, I gotta be honest, it will be challenging for you in that moment to stay laser focused on your plan. To better handle the situation, it is not what you do in the moment, it is what you do before. To prepare you better and to create a system that works is to maintain a constant sodium levels. A simple way you can achieve that is by adding electrolytes and drinking 2 to 4 liters of water every single day. Next easy change is to always opt in for low glycemic index foods. Lower digesting carbs like oats to have a steady blood sugar and to reduce cravings. Even if you get cravings, it is okay as long as you can have a bit control while having your favorite foods. And don't be too hard on yourself. As long as you have the confidence where you can bounce back on track, even if you mess up one day, you absolutely have to have that confidence or someone by your side making a plan for you to get back on track. If you have an all or nothing mindset where you're completely on track when everything goes right, but if just with one mess up, you completely ruin your ability to stay on track afterwards, whatever I've said in this video won't work for you. Question number 24. Do I need to lift heavier or just get more reps to change my shape? To keep it simple, your goal should always be to get stronger in the gym. So ideally, if you can keep your reps to the lower range and increase volume, also known as lift heavier, that would be the ideal scenario, because the higher the reps, the higher the fatigue, and you won't get much effect on your target muscle. So as long as you keep the reps to the lower range and increase the weight, that's where you get more out for what you put in. Question number 25. What's the best split for me? Full body 3 times a week or upper lower 4 times a week? So the best split is always whatever you can commit to and whatever doesn't make you feel like it is your second full-time job. All of our clients are busy career-driven women who's working at least anywhere from 8 to 12 hours a day. Most of them have people to manage in their company or are in a higher levels of a company with a lot of responsibilities. So for them, even getting 30 minutes 2 times a week might be a little push. Just with 2 to 3 days a week workout, if you can structure your workout in a way where you're only doing what is effective, in simple terms, compound movements where you're only focusing on important muscle groups, then you can see the results with just 2 times a week workouts. But to keep it short, the best answer is whatever you can commit to. Question number 26. If I cut to 1400 calories, how long before my metabolism adapts? The fact that it is not about calories, because the more you're in a deficit, the harder it's going to be for you to lose fat. So 1400 calories is not a bad range. It's sufficient enough for you to get started. But if you want to avoid getting stuck, for every 10% of weight you lose, if you can take a diet break and bring your calories back up to maintenance strategically, you can avoid metabolic adaptations where you slowly decrease the amount of calories you burn. But ideally, within the maximum of 8 to 12 weeks, you need to take a diet break if you're consistently staying in a deficit. If you're just an on and off dieter, that's a completely different story. Question number 27. Is it normal for the scale to jump after a leg day? Yes, because legs are one of the biggest muscle groups in your body. When you work out, the stress which you create from that workout will actually create micro tears in your muscles. During the repair process, your muscle will hold on to more water. All of a sudden, if you see the scale going up even after a leg day, don't just think it is body fat. And there are so many other reasons that your scale will go up. For example, the food you ate the day before, bowel movements, the level of sodium in your body, gut issues, and if it's that time of the month. In that situation, you're maybe even 2 to 3 pounds heavier in a single day. But that doesn't mean you're gaining body fat. Question number 28. How do I measure progress when the scale messes with my head? In case if you didn't know, the scale is not the only way to measure progress. There are so many methods that you can check to measure progress. For example, you can check photos to see if there is any changes in your body. You can take measurements of your waist, thighs, and other body parts. And you can also measure the progress in terms of the physiological aspects. If you're feeling more energetic and if your digestion is getting improved, these are all the ways you can measure progress, not only just a scale. Question number 29. Should I track macros or just protein plus calories to save time? Even if you're busy, you're better off tracking every single macro. But you can see equal or identical progress if you're just tracking calories and protein. And given your busy schedule where you'll be working most of the time, tracking every single macro every single day might be a path for you to just hit the burnout. So meal prepping at least one day out of the week, like taking 3 to 4 hours of your day and prepping the meals for 7 days ahead, will be a game changer for you. There are a lot of meal prep styles that you can model from, but I'm not going deeper in this short video. But since you're dedicating time, maximum of 3 hours a day in a week to prepare all of your meals, you can technically track every single macronutrient, or you can be tracking just calories and protein, whichever one you prefer. Question number 30. If I meal prep once weekly, what's the simplest 5-day plan that won't taste awful by Thursday? Okay. So assuming when you said meal prep, you're preparing food from start to finish and storing them in separate different containers just to heat them up and eat it on the spot. But if you have a problem with taste, the way we solve it inside our client community is you just stop one step before. Let me explain. Instead of cooking them, you separate all the ingredients in bulk and store them in different containers. So whenever you do want to cook, even though if it's late at night, you can just put together the ingredients and make a meal in 30 minutes or less. For example, if you marinate your chicken in bulk and store them in Ziploc bag, when you come back home from work, take that one Ziploc bag, put the chicken into the air fryer and set the timer. Go take a shower, and by the time you come back, your chicken will be all good to go. On top of that, if you have microwavable rice, you can just heat it up in 2 minutes. Now, since you got the idea, you can get creative with it. And that is exactly how you save time while not jeopardizing your schedule and still have the tastiest foods you love. Question number 31. If I miss my workout, is it better to double up the next day or just move on? With the experience of me training busy professional women for 8 years, the one thing that never stays the same is your schedule. I understand exactly what you're going through, and as a training director who was working 14-hour days to run the training department, I've been in your shoes. So rather than seeing your workouts day to day, look at it from a weekly perspective. So in case if you miss one day, don't just skip it and move on to the next day. If you're flexible, then move the workouts to a different day in the same week according to your schedule, even if it is last minute. So that way, at least when you look back at the end of the week, you will be achieving certain intensity that you need to progress. For example, if you work out 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and for some reason you can't make it to the gym on those days, don't push the session to the next week. Instead, move it to one of those empty days in the same week. This way, you will still hit the intensity you need to progress within the same week. Question number 32. Do I need supplements beyond protein, creatine, and vitamin D? There are a lot of other micronutrients that you need, not just to perform in the gym, but to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So even though you are consuming all the supplements, it is way better for you to still consume a whole balanced meal with many micronutrients, including carbs, protein, and fats. To keep it simple, if you can take those 3 supplements and maintain a whole food diet, you will still be able to make much better progress. Question number 33. I have PCOS, also PCOD. What changes in training and nutrition matter the most? Especially when you have PCOS, training-wise, all your focus should be getting stronger in the gym and increasing muscle tissue. The reason why is improving muscle tissue is the easiest way to improve your metabolism and to increase insulin sensitivity, which is the root cause of PCOS and PCOD. Nutrition-wise, if you can align your eating habits with the circadian rhythm, in simple terms, keeping the meals heavy in the morning and light towards the night, that would be highly beneficial for you to increase insulin sensitivity. Not ideal, but if you want to go on a low carb diet when the PCOS symptoms are worse, that can be beneficial too. Question number 34. Will I become skinny fat if I sit too long? No. Skinny fat doesn't come from sitting too long. It happens because of a lack of muscle tissue and the way your body genetically stores fat. Especially if you're South Asian, as you know, it tends to accumulate around your midsection, where you might look good in clothes, but when the clothes come off, it tells a different story. You might also be in a situation where you can't go deeper into a calorie deficit without risking muscle loss. At the same time, you can't build muscle because of existing fat deposits. Adding extra calories will only make that worse. In this case, the first thing you need to do is throw your short-term mentality out of the window. Nothing will change overnight, and you may have to keep showing up to the gym without seeing major changes just because of your body structure. Once you set the right expectations, set your calories to maintenance, and put all your focus into getting stronger in the gym while maintaining a higher activity levels. This way, you are giving your body exactly what it needs to perform, and since you're going hard in the gym and building muscle tissue, you will burn more calories and gradually reduce that skinny fat. Question number 35. Where should my calories be on lift days versus rest days? If you want to keep it simple and stress-free, you can set 1 calorie target and follow that every single day. Throughout the week, make sure you constantly monitor your body weight and progress photos to see if your body is responding. That said, if you want to be a bit more advanced and focus more on training, you can adjust your calories based on the workout day, slightly higher on lift days and slightly lower on rest days. For example, if your daily calorie target is 2000 and you work out 4 days a week, consume 2300 calories on workout days and consume around 1700 calories on rest days. This approach gives your body extra energy on the days you work out while keeping the total weekly calories in check. Question number 36. Are 10-minute micro workouts worth it between calls? Rather than focusing on that 10-minute micro workout, I would recommend you can save that time towards a 30-minute workout. Within just 10 minutes, it's difficult to either reach a high enough heart rate to burn significant amount of calories or train effectively enough to train to failure. Instead of a 10-minute micro workout, consider a 10-minute walk. This helps to keep your overall activity levels high, which contributes to your total weekly activity. At the same time, by not breaking up your workouts into tiny segments, you can fully focus on that 30-minute session and get the most out of it. Question number 37. Should I aim for progressive overload if my weights vary across hotel gyms? Progressive overload should always be your number one priority, regardless of changing equipment. The ultimate goal is to hit a certain threshold which you haven't hit before. That is what we call progressive overload or pushing more volume. You can achieve that threshold by either lifting heavier weights with lower reps, or if you don't have a challenging weight, then perform more reps. The fact that most people forget is you can still make progress with lighter weights. When it comes to hotel gyms, it helps to research beforehand and find one with decent equipment. If you're traveling for work, you can often coordinate with your teams to make arrangement to access the gym with premium equipment. Question number 38. Do I need to do cardio if my steps are high and I lift hard? Cardio is not the sharpest tool for fat loss. It is completely up to you if you want to do cardio, but with high overall activity levels, you can still lose weight. In fact, 90% of our clients are extremely busy professionals who don't do traditional cardio. Instead, they focus on keeping their overall activity levels as high as possible. Question number 39. Is my smartwatch calorie burn accurate enough to set my calories? No calculation in existence will give you the exact amount of calories that you need to lose weight. Even the popular ones can be inconsistent, especially if you're using it only at the start. The best approach is to find your calories through iteration. Track your weight, observe your progress, and find that sweet spot where you're consistently hitting the calories you need but still losing weight. Sometimes a formula might seem accurate at first, but most of the time, you need few weeks of testing to see how your body actually responds. Even if you're looking at the cardio machines or you're using smartwatch, these devices are just estimating. They won't be accurate because calorie burn depends on so many different aspects like muscle mass, your metabolism, and other individual variables. Smartwatches primarily track activities, which is just one piece of the puzzle. Question number 40. What's a realistic timeline to lose 10 kg without wrecking my energy? There is absolutely no set timeline to lose 10 kgs. It depends entirely on your level of effort and your ability to consistently show up even when the things get hard. That said, you can definitely make the process easier by implementing systems and finding a routine that works with your lifestyle, not the other way around. If you want faster results, being accurate with your nutrition helps, but especially for busy professionals, it is normal to go off track when life gets a little busy. You've got to keep that into account and don't punish yourself. For every 10% of weight you lose, bring your calories back up to maintenance, take 2 to 3 weeks to recover, and then return back to the calorie deficit. This method helps prevent metabolic adaptations, protects your energy, and allows you to continue progressing without any hassle. There is also an advanced strategy called mini cut, but most people won't be at that level where their life is optimized and structured enough that they can implement it correctly. For mini cut, there is a lot of calculation that goes into it. Question number 41. If I plateau, how do I know whether to cut 100 to 150 calories or increase steps? Whenever you hit the plateau, you're usually better off increasing the activity levels rather than cutting the calories. Only if you're maxed out your activity and can't realistically move more should you then reduce calories. Ultimately, when you deal with your lifestyle, you need more energy to keep up with your daily tasks and to work so hard. And I don't know about you, but nobody likes to take away calories. So if you can keep the same amount of calories but increase the activity levels for you to get into a deficit, that right there would be the ideal solution. That's it. If you're watching this and have any questions that you want me to answer, send me a message here on Instagram and it is my pleasure to point you in the right direction. Or if you want our one-on-one help in losing fat and building your metabolism to a point where you burn twice the amount of calories on autopilot, making it ridiculously easy to maintain your hard-earned results for the rest of your life, go below this video, fill out a quick 10-second application and book a roadmap call to see if you qualify. That's it. Hope you got value from this video and just know that I'm rooting for you.